Hello and welcome everybody to 105 The Drive and to Twitch Monster 27 live here for the Speed Report. We apologize for the day delay. So it's airing on Friday today, but hey, we still got it in. Joined here by Fractured Chain and Paintbrush.
Howdy.
All right, as usual, you can check out everything dealing with the league on www.thegamingrift.com, the official website for everything KMR. And don't forget to check out our neighboring channels, Jaron Hazen and KMR TV 105 The Drive, with more on KMR. If you're interested in joining, obviously hit me up, hit up the chat, whether on YouTube, on the Twitch side, and we will put you on the list for next season. Speaking of next season, let's first start off with breaking news, and that is dealing with the coronavirus. We hope that everyone is being safe and serious with this virus. Obviously, it doesn't directly impact electronic racing of any or games of any sort. However, we do want to make mention, we hope that everybody is safe out there. Please continue to practice good hygiene, wash your hands, stay clean. Keep your environment clean and disinfected so that you can stay as healthy as possible through this ordeal. And so we hope that everyone is doing that, and everyone that has contracted this dreadful illness and just this virus, we pray that you get a speedy recovery.
Dr. Cookie.
Yeah. We wanted to put that out there, and also we want to make mention this very serious note. Obviously, there's a lot of mass shutdowns because of this virus. We know sporting events are shut down, but that's not the only thing that's affected. We also know that there are schools that are affected and even people's jobs that are affected by this virus. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I cannot run in this league at this point in time because of these circumstances. And if it becomes an issue where people's livelihood is affected, and the league cannot continue, the season will end and we'll crown a champion, whoever is in that first place position. And when KMR restarts after this event, after this virus is over, then it will restart with a new season. And we're doing this because we're pretty much for every series in the chase, or preparing to start the chase. So it's in the playoffs, and we will approach it like that. So hopefully our goal is finish out the season. The truck series will finish. We know that guaranteed. It will crown a champion this weekend. The X series still a ways to go. They're going to start their chase this weekend. The Cup series still in the middle of the first round. So we're pretty much toward the end of the season. So we feel confident in doing that. So we hope that everyone is going to be supported with this, and we look forward to when this situation's over very soon. All right, so now let's get to some exciting stuff, racing. And just when you thought things were over in the truck series, we had a situation to occur without going into any major detail. There was a situation that occurred at Gateway. If you want to know what happened, or briefly kind of glance over what could have happened in that race that led to this, form your own speculation, feel free to watch it. It's there on YouTube, the Gateway race, Gateway 100. They're in the chase for the truck series. But the situation coming into Gateway was West had a significant lead on Foreign. Foreign was in a must-win situation. And, well, after that situation occurred, take a look at the points using the official website, thegamingrift.com. You take a look at the points for the truck series. Foreign Whip is in the lead, 94-82 over West. So now the tides have turned. West has one race to get this done. Now, Fractured, we have commented all season long in the speed reports, not only in the truck series, but also in the X series. One thing Foreign cannot seem to do is win. Now that he's in this position, is winning still important headed to Daytona for Foreign?
Well, I have, you and I both have been in, and even Paint have been in many, many, many situations where it comes down to the last race for a championship, and that's just a situation that Foreign and Wes are in right now. Does Foreign have to win? Not at all. But here's how my mentality would be coming into this race. A lot of people go into these championship rounds when, you got two races left, and they worry about their other competitors. We see it with Slothy. We've seen it with some other drivers in the past. You worry about your competitors more than you worry about your own driving. Foreign has got to worry about winning, not Wes. He can't be worried about Wes because that's basically like, oh, in basketball or football, whenever a team tries to play not to lose, they lose because they're not being aggressive. Whenever a team plays to win, they normally win. Or, as long as the other team isn't, trying to play to win either, then it's a close game. But if you're playing not to lose, you're going to lose the championship. That's just how I see it. So I think right now, Foreign, if he comes into this race and it goes to, try to get that win, he's going to win the championship. But if he comes into this race worrying about Wes more than himself, I think it's all game for Wes.
Yeah, Paint. Let me ask you something because we joke on you sometimes in reference to the Daytona
Huh.
500 or
Oh,
restrictor plate races when you averaged second place for like your entire your entire career till you won the 500.
oh.
Um, but let me ask
I
you,
feel you, Paint.
what's what do you think Foreign's mentality um, should be like headed into Daytona in reference to the constant second place finishes, coming up short, leading laps, and not being able to get it done? That's something that you did for a while, but able to overcome. So, uh, what should his mentality be?
Well, before we talk about that, if you want to talk about Daytona and championship races, we can go to when Cookie took me and Fractured
Yeah,
out. When me
yeah,
and Fractured were 2 laps
yeah.
away
I
from a
remember that.
1-2.
Uh,
But
Well, see, I wasn't trying to go there,
Gots to be
So,
more
but
careful.
wasn't
simulation
trying to
steering,
go there.
man. Simulation
See,
steering, man.
it just wasn't for me,
Uh,
It's sad that we had to figure that out the hard
hey,
way, but
Swift, let's hold the bottom. Yeah, gots to be
Yeah.
more careful.
You give the jab kid a win when me and Fractured lapped him like 2 times that race. Oh my god, that was a real funny race. But yeah, Daytona's a real interesting track. You feel like you're gonna win the race. You lead a lot of laps, and then you just come up second. But for Foreign, I just feel like if he can get into the main pack, I guess, or him and Wes per se work together, because Foreign all he has to do is finish the race pretty much in front of Wes or 2 spots behind Wes, and he wins. So I mean, what's there to lose? It's
not a
all.
lot of. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I
Payne.
was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
I was gonna say it's all about how aggressive West is gonna be, not about Foreign. Foreign's gonna go in there smooth. West is gonna go in there. You make one move into the turn, he's gonna take it from you.
So now let's look at this thing from Wes's perspective. Um, it's not over,
Uh-huh.
obviously. And I mean, Daytona is, I mean, 75 is close enough to 72, so we're gonna make that work. But anyway, it's not over. Daytona, we've seen crazy things happen at
Tell
Daytona,
me
so we
about it.
know that it's not over. We know that things can happen. But Wes is in a very serious situation here. He's pretty much must win, and then he has to have help with things that have transpired lately. And with this being the last race of the season, how much help can he expect? And what type of Daytona can we expect from the field? Are we going to see the straight line? Are we going to see a lot of drivers pairing up? Or are we going to see everyone pretty much going for themselves out
Here,
there?
fractions me in just real quick. So if you
Uh,
remember,
okay.
like a season or two ago, when you had Michigan, where everybody was Chevy against the 3 Ford, whoever it was. I have a feeling that Daytona's going to be that. Deep down, I have a feeling. Wes is going to be talking to everybody over the week, saying, "Work with me at Daytona. I'll bring you to the front. All you gotta do is just beat foreign whip." I honestly think something like that was going to happen.
Okay, FC, get in there, man.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be really tough to say what Wes can do. I don't really know if he can win this championship. It's gonna be tough. What Wes has got to do is say, hey, Terrier Beloved. That's who I'm looking at. Terrier Beloved, potentially Wool and Woozy. Or not Woozy, Wolfpack. If you can win those guys over in the race, I think, will guaranteed see him win the championship because those are the guys that can be the influencers. Now, I definitely agree with Paint saying about that. That is going to be increasingly important for West to get that support. However, Foreign is very quiet. I don't even know if he has a mic, and nobody really knows him much. He doesn't talk a lot. So with that, it could be a bit of a disadvantage for Wes. Because he's a bit talkative. He's won a lot of races, and now I can tell you from experience, when you win a lot of races, other people want somebody else to win. Everybody else wants somebody else to win. So it's gonna be really tough for West to win, and he's just gonna have to, gain some support of the other competitors, I think, for it to happen. But I think, like I said, Foreign's I think got this one. It's right in front of him. All he's got to do is go get it. And just to throw this in real quick, not to mention, this is big for Foreign's Cup Series if he's able to run it. This championship is big to see if he can win these things. To see if he gets a ride in the Cup Series, if he's able to run it.
Definitely. One of the things that has kept him out of the Cup Series so far has been his schedule. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Foreign, and this will be huge. I mean, to be able to win the championship and win the final race after going a whole season of not being able to win,
has that ever
finishing
happened
second,
before?
having that frustration.
Has somebody ever
I
won a
want
championship without winning?
Without winning at all.
Team Trace?
No, not in KMR.
Or did he
no,
win?
Team Trace won 2.
Yeah, never mind. I got it.
He won 2.
Yeah.
Now, I think the closest would be probably the White Hammer one season where he went the entire regular season without a win. But
That
then in the
happens.
postseason, he blew the
Wins
field
like
away.
900.
So,
Yeah.
So,
Hammer.
he's probably the closest that we have. And I was thinking about these other guys down here, too. How big these races are for them, and how much can you plan on their assistance, because these guys down here at the bottom, Wool Tortoise, Woozy, Tons, Wolfpack, even Beloved. I mean, think about how big this will be for Beloved to go. Now, Beloved has struggled in the Truck Series. To go out here and win this race as a veteran.
This is a track that favors him, too.
Absolutely, we saw that in the trucks opening Daytona race, where he was running up front for the most part and in contention to beat Speedy and Paint when they were out front. So this could be a big deal for these guys, and that's why I think it's going to be a challenge more of navigating through these guys and staying safe. If you're Foreign, you have to stay safe. Yeah, you have to be aggressive, but you have to stay safe in an area where these guys are going to be going at it, because this is their last opportunity to get a win. Some of these guys need call-up points to even get to the X Series next season. So it's going to be a very interesting race.
There might
I'm
be
looking
some
forward to
tempers
this.
flaring. Maybe.
Might? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there'll be a whole. There'll probably be 10 truck drivers and 10 aggressive driving clips to look at.
I can't wait.
Because everybody's gonna be calling aggressive on everybody. But anyway, something to look forward to in that race, the final race for the Truck Series this season. So once that's over, we'll get a chance to look at the X Series, who is finally starting the chase. I thought the chase would never start. I said miss a couple races, not a bunch of races. But anyway, neither here or there. We're here. Daytona
Or
to
I don't know. Are
start.
you sure we're here?
I think we're here.
You
I
think?
think we'll
Okay.
find out this
We'll
weekend.
find
We'll
out.
find out this.
Pretty much.
We'll find out this weekend. Okay. Of the top 9: Amari, Beloved, Foreign, Hair Bear, Terrier, Pennzoil, Hindu, Wool, Dale are your top 9. Um. So
Dale
what
with
do
an
you guys expect?
asterisk and a bunch of subs. Yeah, all the subs. There you go.
Well, yeah. Which will, after this first round, will
Yeah.
probably be done. He
Yeah.
won't have the opportunity to get too many subs now. But what are we expecting now for this opening Daytona race? Paint. If you're coming in here, you're one of these guys. What's your mentality coming into Daytona?
Finish the race. Pretty much just finish the race. Miss the big wreck, I guess. Put yourself in a good position. Work with people that you can trust, and make the right moves when you want to make the moves.
Well,
Yeah,
here's my thing with this. I made my comment about trying to win, not lose. Then this may be why I never win restrictor plates. But if I'm somebody else here, I think I'm going into this race and saying, all right, especially like let's look at it: a Dale, a Wool, a Hindu, or not a Hindu, but a Hair Bear, even a Terrier. Go for the win, because we know when we go to these mile-and-a-half tracks, we're gonna see Amari up there, we're gonna see Foreign up there, we're gonna see Pennzoil, or I guess Pennzoil's on both lists, but and you're gonna see Hindu up there. So these are the races where you can't play nice. Go for the win, not just survive. Go for the win, because it's gonna mean wonders if you can win and make it to the next round, because it could shake things up.
yeah, fracture. But would you be at least concerned if Daytona
Yeah,
restrictor plate
I
races brought the
I
motto
definitely do.
"Wreckers or
Blah, blah,
checkers"?
blah, blah, blah.
So would you be also concerned if you go out there with that aggressiveness, get caught up in the big one, and now all of a sudden you're behind in this situation with all of the points being even?
Well, as you and I both know, Daytona, no matter where you're at, can be unforgiving, which is why I don't think you can be as concerned. I think we know there will be a big one if the right position goes on. So, if I really had to pin on it, I'm not worried about it, though. I think you just still got to go for that win. That's the easiest decision for you. It, I, I just don't think hanging out in the back and settling for a top 5 is good enough for those guys that I mentioned earlier that are, that have struggled a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna add. That was gonna be my next question. Who needs this first victory the most?
What's that?
Who needs this first victory the most?
Well, I think there's two drivers in particular that need a win the most: Hair Bear and Terrier. Now, Hair Bear we saw win Auto Club and dominate the point season, but we didn't see really Hair Bear's form that second half of the season. We saw Amari, Foreign, and Hindu up front and showing off them. Um, Hair Bear's got to prove he's got to win again. This is a reset points. This is a chase. This isn't the regular season. If I'm Hair Bear, you have to go out and win this race. It's almost a must win, at least the top 5. If you don't get a top 5, I think Hair Bear's going to be in mucky waters. And Terrier, we can all attest, Terrier's been the most improved driver and has set himself up for, I think, a chase season in the Cup Series next season. Terrier gets a win. Imagine what this can do for his momentum and for his confidence. It could be huge for him to even advance to the Final Four. So with that being said, I think those two are those guys that really, Daytona's got to be where they step up and find that rhythm. You might be able to put Beloved in there too.
Yeah, Paint. What are your thoughts, man? Who needs this win? You're coming in. You're any one of these guys. Who's in the must win first?
I mean, I want to say anybody's in a must-win since the chase is starting. I mean, anybody can win at Daytona, so I guess pretty much maybe the people that aren't as fast that made the chase, people that are in like the lower seeds, instead of people like Hindu and Foreign. So I mean, it's pretty much restrictor plate racing is a guess and tell game. So there's a late race caution, and there's a lot of people that you don't really see in the front, on like a white flag shootout. Then It's gonna be a very interesting call of a race.
It certainly will, and
Beloved's not afraid to make those calls.
especially. I was gonna
Back
say
up that restart, boy.
I was gonna say that you get two. I don't know the word to use when it comes to sluggish. There we go.
Yeah.
Two sluggish
Gotta be on your gay
restarters, and
game
all
all
of
the
a
time.
sudden, you're gonna have the big one with no more cautions. That would be very, very interesting. It would also be good for the viewers to see. We want to thank all our viewers out there too. All 6 of our viewers. Thank you very much, and remember, keep yourself clean. Wash those hands, keep them clean, keep your environment clean, stay away from this virus.
And to all the people that have been watching the broadcast over on my end, the last 2 broadcasts that I've been able, I know I've had some personal stuff lately, so I haven't really been able to put up as many broadcasts. I will say this, we have averaged 8 to 9 people in the last 2 broadcasts, guys. Keep it up. I cannot wait to see if we can get those average viewers up in the double digits. So keep it up, guys. I know it's entertaining to watch. I'll try my best. Should be able to make it this week. Don't have anything up, so keep a lookout. And if not me, maybe Cookie.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has anything up right now.
Yeah.
It's like everything's been
Everything's
canceled.
shut down.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, we continue on talking about these guys that are down below now. These guys that are sitting here 10th and below. Of course, their points reset to the points cap that started the chase. So who would these guys need to finish strong? We haven't seen much of some of these guys, but all of these guys down here have reached their threshold where they are not in the Cup Series. So right now they reached their threshold. Who needs to finish off the season the strongest? And
Well, I think I have to start with Beloved, and here's why. Beloved, when not in a rhythm, is probably one of the drivers that struggles the most in KMR, up there with Woozy. So if Beloved doesn't get off to a good start at Daytona, don't expect him to carry that through the chase. However, if Beloved gets out of here or gets out of Daytona with a nice strong finish, I'm looking at it and saying, all right, Beloved's going to make it to the next round. I really am. We saw Beloved be way better in the X Series than we did him in the trucks. I don't know why, but I guess it's just how it is. We saw Beloved in 2, I believe, of the last 3 races get a top 5. So I think if Beloved gets another top 5 at Daytona, I'm running his name on the dotted line for the round of 6. I think another driver that could also be there is Dale. Dale should be there this weekend. If Dale can get off to a good start and his work schedule permits him, I think a strong start could help him, especially for not having as much seat time as all these other guys. So those are the 2 that I would say probably need this Daytona race the most.
okay, well, what about fractured those that are 10th and back?
Ooh.
That's who I was initially referring
okay.
to.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. Paint, get in there. Who you think 10th and back
Is this for the Cup Series or?
for the X Series?
Oh, my fault. Let me pull up the points. Do you have the points on you? Can you just give me the names, or do you need me to pull
Okay,
it up?
yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's do that. From 10th to 13th, so these are those that if they're guaranteed their spot initially, like if they're on, they're going to get the invite first. Woozy, Wolfpack, Josh, Mixer, all eliminated from chase contention. They are not in the chase, but they will get the initial invites. Hot seat positions 14 and 15, Tons, and Treshawn.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Wolfpack and Woozy. Wolfpack just needs to stop talking and just race his race. If he races his race, and I bet
Thank you.
then I bet you there'll be like no problem at all. He could just focus on him. But I mean, talking is the main problem. He reminds me of the earlier version of Wall Guns, 10 times worse. And
Dog.
Wow.
and
Ouch. Apply water to the burned area.
and Woozy, he just gets too emotionally upset. If you give him some criticism, he takes it serious, and
Yeah.
he gets really upset. Yeah, so that's my 2 picks.
All right. Fractured. Beloved's in the chase, so until he is crowned champion or eliminated, who you got that's sitting outside? Yeah.
Wolfpack. I look at JV Ice, and I don't think he's gonna make a lot of races. I look at Woozy. Woozy he's not very good. I'll apply to the water to the burned area, but yeah, he's just Woozy's got to figure something out that applies to lifting off the throttle, because you see him in a lot of these tracks just literally gun it on in there into every corner, just tear his stuff up. So I think Wolfpack is easy got it. And then Josh, I mean, Josh is one of those interesting guys. He can be up front or the back, but I just feel like I have more confidence in Wolfpack right now being back there.
Josh's best finish in KMR, second place at Martinsville. Since then, up and down. He had another good run at ISM, I believe the race was. But outside of that, it's been up and down for him. And if I may interject in here as well, I think Tons and Treshawn benefit a lot, especially Treshawn, because he didn't get a lot of seat time. Someone that came in towards the tail end of the X Series, obviously on a hot seat. He got a call up, didn't get a lot of seat time in the Truck Series, which means he'll be back both in the Trucks and in the X Series. Guaranteed spots in those series if he chooses to take those. But I think getting that extra seat time and maybe getting a good finish and pushing one of these guys out. Mixer has not been seen near a track in quite some time. So maybe Mixer doesn't show. Treshawn gets the opportunity and runs, gets a good finish, pushes Mixer out. Josh has not been on in some time. Maybe Tons gets on, pushes Josh out, and this benefits them because they get those call-up points and put themselves steps closer to getting in the Cup Series and on the Cup side of things. So I really think that would benefit those guys to have the opportunity to run there. So we'll see what happens in that position, and Daytona racing, guys, under the lights. So let's break down real quick what the chase is going to look like for everybody. We're here at Daytona. It's a 3-3-3 format for the X Series. So Daytona ISM Bristol, there will be our first group of elimination. The round of 6 will start at Michigan. It will be Michigan, Richmond, Kentucky. That's our second round of elimination. And then finally, we'll start Road America for the final round. Road America, Gateway, and under the lights at Bristol, we will crown a champion in the X Series, hopefully, barring any unforeseen occurrences due to this coronavirus that is out now, and how that will affect everybody.
Tucky, I heard we have a new broadcaster.
We do?
Oh, that.
Oh, well, potentially. I was gonna get to that. That's coming. Potentially, yeah. Man, don't throw me out throw me off like that. It's like, what?
Oh.
All right, so
this will be interesting.
now let's get to the Cup Series.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, buddy. Cup Series points have changed up quite a bit.
13th, or not 13th, out of the chase. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I got it.
It's changed up quite a bit right now.
According to Slavi, you're a washed up and need to retire.
He doesn't want to race in 900 years. Anyway.
All right, so let's get started with Cup Series news. And first off, we have to talk about the performance by SHR at Sonoma, amongst other things. Sonoma was a reminder of why Forza will be back next season.
Tell you what. Wait.
I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't out there, but I am so glad that I was not.
I had so much fun.
But I tell you what, if you want to see some amusing racing, tune into Jaron Hazen and look up the Sonoma race. It is just so entertaining.
No, it wasn't.
Or Paint, did you know? Or look at my stream of the X Series Sonoma race. That's right, it is up as well. I believe it's still here on Twitch. You can check it out on YouTube. It's hilarious watching the cars jump the mounds and hurdles over the racetrack.
Breathe in.
It's hilarious.
Breathe out.
In the meantime, being serious about it. In the meantime, SHR was able to secure its first or second team finish of the season, which gave them the 20-point boost, which really helps all of these guys out. Dopey was able to get yet another win. Dopey Swift, Kanye,
I
that's
will
what we're gonna
always
call
call
him.
him
He
Swift.
got there. We go. Swift was able to secure yet another win, which puts this into now a points battle as well as a win and get in battle. So, let's talk now about you guys' thoughts on, first off, the Sonoma race. You guys were present in that race, so your thoughts on that race and how that affected the series.
Well, we learned that NASCAR Heat 4 is a trash game and can't make road course racing relevant. But we're not going to use that as an excuse. However, the racing, I think, overall was pretty good. There were some intense moments out there on the track that I think you could really look at and say, man, this race was a good race. Sonoma is just one of those tracks where it seems to be hit or miss. It's a wreck fest or it's just a clean and green all the way through. Do I see that, happening on Forza? I think it's going to stay about the same pattern. But, Sonoma was a very entertaining race and a very interesting race. A race that we all thought Knight would come in and dominate. We saw the opposite. We saw his teammate Swift come in there and just run a talent show and just throw everybody. Now, we saw Knight get better throughout the race, but Swift ultimately was able to stand through and get that win. But Sonoma was a very interesting race, I think, for everybody.
Paint. How did you learn? Also, definitely answer the first question, but how much did your running the X Series help you in Cup preparation? I just want to kind of throw that out there too.
The fact that I didn't practice per se at all
Same here.
helped out running the X Series. But I mean, the cars are more looser in the Cup Series. I had more fun in the X Series than the Cup Series.
Okay, so back to our first question, that Sonoma race. Your thoughts on that race and how it affected the points battle in this first round.
I mean, I'm still sitting second. Just Swift has a bigger point gap now. I mean, I'm not really worried about. But I knew he was better than me at Sonoma, but it is what it is. I mean, now we can go back to turning left instead of turning right and hitting a rumble strip and taking 30% aero damage.
Yeah,
that was
the invisible wall.
Yeah.
Oh boy! Thank goodness we're on Forza next season for at least one race. God almighty. Anyway, so now the points have been done. We see Nightfall has done his usual. He's come from the bottom. Now he's here. Who's in a tough situation? Who's in a must-win? Who can kind of take it easy? And what should be the mentality for all of these chasers coming into Daytona?
As much as it pains me to say, a must-win is for Ghost, and this is a race where it definitely can happen for him. A must-win. We've seen Ghost perform strong in restrictor plates, so I would not be surprised to see Ghost put in a really strong performance at Daytona and potentially win. Somebody that can just kind of sit back and I think watch the sunset burn is not Dopey, not Paint, but I would say Zesty. Zesty missed last week, and he's still third in points. I think the top three really can just kind of sit back and do whatever they want, but Ghost and Hindu are both in dire trouble, and honestly, you can really throw in JP, Dale, and Hair Bear and even you, but I mean that top six is just separated. So I'd say anybody really from seventh on down is in a must-win, and it's no question for me.
I think Hindu's in a must-win. As much as I don't want to say this as a team owner, Hindu is in a must-win, and he's just not fast. And when he gets to the front, I mean, we could try, but he's just not as fast as the other Ford drivers. So I guess, and plus Sonoma, he never practiced or never raced on it, according to him. But Uh, yeah, I guess Daytona can be anybody's chance.
Yeah, let me ask this. We've seen, especially when we look at the 500, and even bits in the Talladega race, but especially in that Daytona 500 race to start a season, we see primarily a lot of team oriented restrictor plate drafting.
Yep.
We see SHR work together. We see Fords work together. We see Toyotas work together. We see the Chevys team up. Now that this Daytona race is in the chase, does that change anything prospectively? Does anyone, in any one of those camps have an agenda you would think that would supersede their loyalty to a particular manufacturer? Do you think people are going to go for themselves? What do you think the racing is going to be like for Daytona night in the chase?
Well,
Is
if you
this
think, what's that?
No, 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 I was talking to
Oh,
myself.
okay. If you think about it, you look at it here. There are 6 Fords, and the rest of the league is either a Toyota or Chevy. We saw this in NASCAR last year at Talladega. We saw the Chevys and the Toyotas gang up versus the Fords to beat them because the Fords are, they're when they had cars, they were really good. Like most of the Fords last season in NASCAR were actually really good. Now, there are some people out there that really want to beat Ford. For example, Slothy, Wes, myself, just to name 3 there. I know a lot of other people do, but I'd say those are the guys that really want to beat them. And it's going to come down to them working together and being able to settle with positions. And that's why Ford's going to win. They're going to kind of settle with each other, and I think, and get in that draft and just kind of sit. Whereas these Chevys and Toyotas are just going to be like, oh, no, I want to lead the pack. No, I want to lead the pack. And by that time, Ford's got a 6-second lead. Yes, the Chevys have the number advantage on the Toyotas. However, the coordination advantage goes to Ford, and that's where it matters so much.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
I agree. Just Ford Ford can be really tricky on working with each other at restrictor plate racing. Um, you know, when all of the Fords are in the chase and you guys are all trying to advance it around the six, and there's about 8 of you, it's gonna get pretty sketchy for say trying to work together, who you're gonna pick to work with and what you're gonna do because I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're like a Hindu or somebody trying to get their win and it's like 2 laps ago and you see somebody else coming up with a run and it's not say it's like a Toyota or a Chevy. I if I was Hindu I'd go with them. So I mean even if you're breaking the manufacturer, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
yeah, buddy. And I tell you, if you're Hindu, like you said, in a must win, or Ghost in a must win, or JP in a must win, and he gets to a situation where maybe something happens down pit road and he gets separated from his group and it's late in the race and he's got cars around him. I'm pretty sure at a certain point, and we see this in real life NASCAR all the time, at a certain point, it doesn't matter who your manufacturer is, you've got one thing on your mind, and that's the checker flag. And maybe the situation like what we saw at Talladega, maybe that is not only Ford's biggest strength, but also their biggest weakness.
Yeah.
That they are extremely concerned about
Yeah.
getting their manufacturer to victory lane, that they're willing to sacrifice to try to keep themselves together. And at the same time, being out strategized, and then you got to work your way up through a field, trying to bring all 8 cars with you. Pretty tough to do. So, are we having a white flag shootout, or is it going to be a field mileage race? What are you guys feeling like? What do you think?
Because red flags are a thing, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be a 4 laps to go when the final restart does. Ford will control it, and everybody's going to say that, oh, I intentionally go against Ford. This is actually what I believe, because Ford has done a very good job at the restrictor plates this season. However, I think somebody else is going to get a win. In the end, at the checkered flag, and it's going to come to a shock to everybody, I think it's going to be JP. JP has not particularly gone out to these restrictor plates as of late and won. However, he knows he has teammate support. He knows he's in a rough position, and he's been able to deal with that before. So, with that being said, I think JP is going to go into Talladega and get a massive upset win. He does well in the restrictor plates if he keeps his cool.
Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona, jeez. But he when he keeps his cool and he is, not, and when he's worried about himself, he's amazing at restrictor plates. So I think JP is going to go out there and finally bag a win after going through yet another drought in his career with wins.
Definitely. I mean, we can't forget he's a former Daytona 500 champion. We cannot forget that. And then won Talladega the same season. He certainly knows how to get through a restrictor plate. What about you, Paint, and your thoughts on what kind of finish we're looking at? We've had a field mileage Daytona. We've had a white flag shootout Daytona. And we've had all in between. What do you think it's gonna be? What do you think it's gonna be like there?
Give me 2 seconds. Well, I think it's gonna be green flag for the most part. Unless you get your casual red flag here and there. And but I was gonna add on to something, but then I forgot it. With all these drivers working together, you guys gotta remember when you go in the pit road for these green flag pit stops, there's the sometimes you just start wrecking each other going in the pit road out of nowhere because NASCAR heat likes to take over and just make everybody die. So I mean that can mess up everything. But I think it's gonna be green for the most part. And I say if like 10 to go, there's gonna be a caution, and then everybody's gonna race like hooligans to the finish.
Yeah. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that. And so, guys, remember, at these Daytona races, for the night race, no stages. It's a straight up race. So that's going to really, you're going to have to factor that in when it comes to strategy and how you're going to come about getting the victory lane as opposed to the stages. You won't lose that much in points either with stages. If you lag out in stage one, you don't have to worry about dying because you're not getting those stage points. So just a reminder there. Thank all 5 viewers for tuning in today, and we appreciate it. So let's conclude this segment with who you got. And so we'll start with, oh, why did I do that? Wow, that's smart. Okay, well, anyway, we're going to start with Fractured Truck Series Daytona Championship Night. Who's your pole winner? Who's your race winner?
Truck Series, the pole is going to go to Wes, and the win will go to Terrier.
All right. Paint, who you got?
Foreign all the way.
Foreign whip sweep. I like that. X Series Daytona to start the chase. Hopefully everybody will be there. Who you got? Pole winner, race winner?
Dale, pole, foreign win.
Okay. I can see the momentum after Foreign wins a championship. Come back, win the Daytona X Series race. That would be awesome. Paint, who you got?
Hindu, pole, foreign win.
All right, so Foreign to sweep. And finally, Cup Series. You can be biased if you want to. I've learned being biased does nothing but screws yourself over sometimes. But who you got? Pole winner, race winner, Fractured?
I'll get the pole. Sam Cook pulls off a clutch move, grabs himself the win.
Okay. Paint. Pole winner, race winner.
Pole winner, Swift, race winner, me.
All right. Paintbrush going to victory lane. No more seconds for him. I heard that, but it should be very, very exciting. We got a little bit of time here, so we got about 6 viewers out there in the chat. If anyone wants to ask a question of any sort for us here, the panel, Fractured, Paint, myself, if anyone has a question or comment they want to put out there, we are all ears for that. And in the meantime, man, I tell you, it's gonna be really, really cool Daytona race under the lights, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I've never finished one yet.
Under the lights? You
Nope.
haven't finished the Daytona under the lights?
Nope.
Wow. So yeah, just an update, driver's update here. Yeah, so I got bit by a spider, and my driving guiding thumb hand is swollen. So I'm not Spider-Man. I don't have webs, and I have tried sticking to the wall and fell on my butt. So we're still human, guys. But it wasn't poisonous, so that's good. Oh, and I almost forgot. Yeah, we have a bit of breaking news to bring to you to conclude our segment. So let's go ahead and get that to you. Oh boy, here we go. How about I get the more pleasant news first? We could have a Cup Series broadcaster. That's right. Former KMR champion Dunkerwiz is prepared to bring us some coverage of the Daytona race for the Cup Series. Finally, there could be a broadcast. We'll get all that information to you as soon as we can. It will probably be posted as a comment in this when it's posted to 105 The Drive YouTube channel. It'll probably be a comment listed as to what his channel is and everything, so that everyone can tune in when it is time for that. And then, of course, I may get on briefly just to make mention of that on the race day. Hopefully everything goes right where we're able to do that. So that's first and foremost there with that. Okay, so I want to bring that to you guys' attention, so that you'll know that possible Cup Series broadcast. Dunker was willing to help us out. He'll be joining the series next season in the X series or truck series. So let's see here. And also, breaking news, team movement. Slouthy has made the decision to go back to his roots, roots before roots, not SHR obviously, but he has decided to go over to Penske Racing to drive the Blue Deuce. That was confirmed actually tonight. He made a confirmation deal until further notice. So he will be in the Deuce the remainder of the season, and then of course next season he has made the decision until further notice to make that choice. So that's going to be very interesting. And you know, I would not broadcast it if it wasn't from the horse's mouth. It was definitely from the horse's mouth. I had to ask about 5 times, but I think I got it. You know, the first 3 times were out of shock, and the last two times were confirmation. But anyway, so that's going to be very interesting. Look for the Blue Deuce and not the 18.
You won't have to, guys. Don't worry.
Daytona. All right, well, I don't have anything in the chat. Fractured, you got any comments over there from your chat end?
I do not. Just be prepared, guys, for a hectic week of racing here. Chases in all 3 series for the first time, so it'll be definitely interesting to see.
Well, what a better format than Daytona to bring it to you. So, guys, look forward to this weekend. Daytona, obviously, normal start time, Saturday, 6 o'clock EST. We'll start the Truck Series Championship race. You'll have it there on Jaron Hazen. Fractured Chain will bring it to you. He'll probably have some backup there as well. And then after that, the X Series will begin the chase right there at Daytona. So be sure to tune in 8 o'clock EST. Fractured Chain again will have the coverage. And then, of course, we'll have somebody's broadcasting the Cup Series race at Daytona, 5 Eastern on Sunday. So we hope everybody can tune in. From Fractured, from Paint, from Sam, this is KMR signing off.